Hello friends, hope you are well. Welcome to the Report, home of tech and telco news from within Australia, but with some international tidbits. We have some interesting news for you today, and as always, I'm trying to balance out a deep dive into a topic versus sharing as much as what's happening this week. Then of course, how much time it all takes. So let's see what we have today. NBN Co gets called out by the Parliamentary Business Committee, and Aussie Broadband bids to buy over the wire. Then on the international side, we have Google cutting their fees and PayPal about to drop a cool $45 billion on a new toy. Make sure to smash the like button if you like this video and subscribe to support us. Let's get started by rolling the intro. Over the last few months, NBN Co has been in warm water, definitely not hot just yet, but is certainly warming up when mum and dad hear about this. In fact, the Parliamentary Business Committee isn't just mad at NBN Co, they're a little bit disappointed. You may have seen over the last few months NBN Co subcontractors protesting and describing the bad working conditions. To all that, NBN Co have said this is not the case at all the while using their technology and delivery partners as shields to their responsibility. Well, it has all come to blows as the parliamentary inquiry discovered that yes, there are a significant amount of issues with the current employment agreements for subcontractors. And these agreements have led to unfavorable working conditions for those nearest to the coalface. You see, NBN Co and its delivery partners utilize a subcontracting pyramid model to engage workers to service the national broadband network, and nothing scandalous about using the word pyramid model. However, the committee believes that this facilitates unsustainable employment arrangements for those at the bottom of the subcontracting chain and is concerned that this materially impacts people who are already quite disadvantaged. So during the meeting, the committee said, the committee believes that this is especially unacceptable for unsustainable and unfair contracting arrangements to occur within a project that is funded and administered by the Australian government. Evidence indicates that there is pressure at every contracting level to make a profit and exert downward pressure on pricing and workforce conditions for smaller operators and individuals. As a consequence, the NBN is serviced and maintained largely by individuals who struggle to maintain financial viability and must work long and sometimes unpaid hours in order to survive. You can imagine that there are many industries that have this issue. In some cases, the employees don't even know their rights under their awards. In others, the wording and execution of the contracts creates unfair working conditions, and in this case, the pressure just creates more problems. These comments should be seen as a win for the subcontractors, but the problem is any solution is a fair way away, though a good start. Further to these comments, the committee has written a recommendation for what the Australian government needs to do to make this right. Here it is. The committee recommends that the Australian government amend the NBN Co Ministerial Statement of Expectations to explicitly state that NBN Co is responsible for conditions of work, exploitation and corruption that occurs in its supply chain, including for subcontractors engaged by delivery partners or prime contractors. NBN Co should be directed to prepare and publish a plan for how NBN Co will safeguard, monitor and enforce substantial rates for pay and for fair working conditions for NBN technicians. The committee also recommends that the number of vertical subcontractors arrangements be limited to enhance transparency and accountability, to reduce the inefficient outlay of taxpayer funds and wages, suppressing the result that too many layers of subcontractors are in the delivery chain, and to promote secure ongoing direct employment by delivery partners as the preferred model of workforce engagements. As always, links for the sources below. Let me know your thoughts. Does the government need to step in? Do they have a responsibility to be an example for other industries on how to treat their subcontractors? And should the delivery partners receive heat for this too? Let's move on to our next story. Aussie Broadband Managing Director Philip Britt has been on a warpath against NBN Co, taking on the CVC and its overcharges. He said that his NBN bandwidth expenses were up 137% quarter on quarter, resulting in a $3.3 million overcharge bill. I'm pretty sure even Telstra hasn't charged their customers that much in overage, but when you supply the internet to millions in Australia during lockdown, I think it only makes sense. Now, without blaming human malware, their internet has been on an upward trend for decades. This isn't something new, so overage is only a beginning. In fact, Aussie Broadband said it did qualify for an $800,000 rebate from NB & Co in this period. So overall, it's still a bit of a mess, but they get a bit of cash back. The only thing I find hard to mull over in my mind is an ASX-listed company that is completely reliant on a government-sponsored infrastructure project that is in itself having many problems, then causing issues down the line for companies like Aussie Broadband. But here we are. In saying that, I still highly recommend the brand for their internet service. See the notes in the description for a code to get $50 credit. Now, with that in mind, the ASX-listed Aussie Broadband has announced a bid to purchase IT service provider Over the Wire for $5.75 per share, which has now halted trading at about $5. At this stage, the discussion between Aussie Broadband and Over the Wire are preliminary and incomplete. This means no arrangement has been entered and no deal may eventuate in the future. It seems like a strange move for a telco company to purchase an IT service provider. In fact, analysts have yet to call this a no-brainer, suggesting there are other companies who would fit the bill better and be a no-brainer choice. Let me know below what you think. What could be the reason behind this acquisition? And would you look at the time, it's time for some international tidbits brought to you by me, sponsored by you liking this video and subscribing. Let's go. Google has cut their fees for subscription-based apps by a whopping 50%. That's right, going from 30% fees to 15%. Now, this may sound really great, but as you dig deeper, this isn't Google cutting their income in half, not even close. Now, after much criticism of its fee structure from apps like Spotify and the ongoing Apple and Epic Games saga, Google cut the fee in half. However, only for the first year, because the fee structure changes for developers on the second year down to 15%. So Google isn't really losing half their income every year for such apps at all. The new fee structure will start next year in January and only really affects new apps on the App Store, those joining in that first 12 months of them existing. That's not all. Google announced that some ebook companies and on-demand music streaming services will be eligible, which means there's some sort of hoops to jump through, for a fee as low as 10%. That in itself is the actually exciting news for developers, potentially affecting the veterans of streaming. However, the wording so far precludes services like Netflix. Will this mean price reduction for the consumer? Hell no. Could this mean price hikes in the future are not a thing? Maybe. And could this mean more content on the subscription service? Well, that's the hope. Let me know your thoughts below. Time for our last story. Personally, I haven't used Pinterest, and in fact, I found it really annoying to use. Not particularly user-friendly, but apparently I'm the one in the wrong, as my wife has used it and passed it, it's fine. PayPal has offered to purchase Pinterest for 70 United States dollars per share, which works out to be $45 billion. This offer is, however, mostly in stock offerings and not pure cash, but still. So why would a payment company be purchasing a social media company? Well, imagine being the default payment system to sell on that platform, connecting the merchants and buyers in seamless fashion. I bet there have been a lot of people who have looked at photos on Pinterest and said, damn, I want to buy that and I'm going to pay whatever it costs. And well, PayPal will be there to take your money. Let me know below if you are a heavy user of Pinterest and what you think of this buyout. And on a silly amount of money, we have to end this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you like this video if you did and subscribe to support us. Thanks and bye!